Hey guys, welcome to VLTV. We have back with us one of everybody's most favorite guests, David Jose, and he's got a lot of updates for us, and we're not really sure in what direction tonight may take us. So welcome back, David Jose.
David, good to see you. I know you're going to get us in trouble, more trouble.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm happy to be here. And I want to thank you guys once again for your amazing work, for your consistency, because you guys bring the truth day after day after day, week after week after week, year after year after year. And that's what we need in order to take this thing down. And I believe that we're close.
All right. Tell us why you think we're close.
Yeah.
Okay. So since the last time that we all spoke, we had quite a bit of success. You guys forgive me because I'm sweating. I just worked out not too long ago and got in a shower, so it's kind of hard to stop the sweat. But the reason I say that we're winning is because I remember a time probably about a year and a half to 2 years ago where people would say, look, don't fight the system. You better just do everything that they say because there's no way that you guys are going to be able to win. The system is too powerful. Judges will never go to jail. CPS workers will never go to jail. The legislature ain't listening. People had every excuse and had everything to say that a naysayer would say. And we're only a short time past that. And we're already seeing CPS workers going to jail. We see the gentleman in Minnesota who came out and said that CPS is trafficking and they should charge him $1,000 a day. We see where a family in Texas got lied on and an administrative law judge charged them $100,000, which isn't a whole bunch, but the very fact that things are happening is huge. Many CPS workers have went to prison. Judges are going to jail like crazy. You keep hearing it about the trafficking judges.
Yeah.
The CPS judges, the bar is actually turning on judges. Judges are turning on the bar. You see arrests for Social Security fraud and administrative court fraud. So we're actually having a situation where tons of things are going great. We see the remonstrance work done by John Gentry, Chris Hallett, David Art right now today is in Oklahoma. And he's done his remonstrance, and he's on his second or third meeting of the day with legislative body members who are listening to what he has to say. Wow, we also saw a judge stop and listen to him, heard him out, and said, wait, man, the people who are doing these things, the people who are stealing the kids, are they elected officials or are they appointed? See, the judges are starting to get smart. They're starting to realize that a lot of people going to prison. They're starting to realize that people are getting caught up in treason. And because we're talking so much and we're putting their names on paper so much in so many different areas, you can no longer hide it.
Yeah.
Shining a light. Absolutely.
There you go. So most people, they don't look at things by faith, and that's what gets them messed up. Most people look at things by where the individual trying have ended up. So I'll give an example. Many times when somebody wants to save their kids or wants to fight a traffic case or wants to do a remonstrance or wants to do something to show that they've been done wrong, the first thing they'll do is they'll say, well, I would do what it is that this person is saying, but I need to know that they've won 372 cases. You know, they got this number in their mind and they say, if you haven't won 372 cases, then this stuff can't work and I can't take your advice. I can't work with you. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm not going to get up and move until I know that it's already won.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is that we're paving the road. So there's a lot of firsts going on. We have to be the first ones to take those steps.
There you go. You got to look at it like this, right? Mike Tyson was a big bad monster that'll go around punching people. He'll punch you in your cheek and knock your teeth into your chest, right?
Yeah.
And so people had a lot of fear of him, and they said nobody can beat Tyson. He's a god in the ring. He can't be touched. Nobody can do it. It's not possible, right? And for a while, men thought that it couldn't be done. And so no man wanted to be the first one to have to go up against him to actually win. And that's the problem, is that many times we will look at our problems and issues and say, oh, it's too big, it's impossible, it's never going to happen. I haven't seen anybody else do it yet, so I'm not going to try. And that's why we go so long in the law without wins, because people aren't trying. And the sad part is they will get on Facebook, they'll get on YouTube, and they'll talk about the law day in and day out. They'll quote quote cases, and in their mind they really think that they're a patriot that's fighting for the law, because all they're doing is eating and sleeping discussions, but they're taking no action.
Exactly.
So, you know, I'm not saying this to say anything bad about anybody. I'm saying it so that we can acknowledge what we do, because your brain doesn't know the difference between real and fake. And so you consciously have to think and decipher if something is real or fake. But you could have a dream, and in the middle of your sleep, you can lose a Snickers. And when you lose that Snickers in the middle of your sleep, you'll wake up and be looking around for the Snickers.
I know I would.
Yeah. So, David, so how is the fight being taken to them? In what kind of capacity? Corporate law?
Yeah.
Corporate law, administrative law, or constitutional law? Because I just saw a document that the United States is a corporation.
Yes, it is.
United States of America Incorporated. So how are we taking this to them? In what capacity?
We always win under the common law. And this is why. The common law is what the people work off of. The administrative law or the private law is what they work off of. And so we've been tricked to believe that these people are bringing us into actual courts of record when it comes to like CPS and stuff like that. And what happens is that because we believe that we're in an actual court, we do some things that they call contracting with them. Now, we never signed a contract. And I'm going to show y'all something if y'all want to see it that'll help you to see the truth behind this whole thing. So, you know how, and I'll get back to the point, you know how we'll get into these courts and they'll run some statutes on us that say that we have the right to take your kids from you. We have the right to interfere in anybody's life that we think that we need to. And it's this loose language, right? Well, that's what's called special law. So what they're doing is they're making laws for certain people they call obligors to a loan for Title 4D or child support, or they call them non-custodial parents for CPS. And here's the thing, when you deal with what they call non-custodial parents, right? Have any of you guys ever started up a company, or have you guys ever started up a company before?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So you can start up a company, right? And there's times where you'll start up a company and there'll be an umbrella company. And then under that umbrella company would be called what? What would the company be called?
It's just other smaller companies under the umbrella. I don't know what the name of it is.
Smaller companies, they call them child companies.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, oh, okay. I've heard of that before. Okay, all right. But I've never thought about that. That's why we love you having you on the show.
We always learn so much.
We learn stuff.
This is going to blow you away.
All right.
So you got a child company that was created by a responsible party who is like the guardian over the child company. What would that company be called?
The parent company.
The parent company.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
It's going to be good. So what happens is that the maxims of law say that you cannot control what you do not create.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. I got you.
So if you create a child company in partnership, who owns the child?
Oh, yeah.
Parent.
I don't know.
The partnership.
the parent company and whoever the parent company is in partnership.
Right.
So I'm going to show you guys something that happened that's going to make you say, oh, shucks. So think about this. When you're in the hospital and you just had a baby, right? They get you to sign some forms, right? And included in the forms are the state and the parents. It's called a birth certificate. But before they give you the birth certificate, they give you what's called the certificate of live birth. So you sign the certificate of live birth, give it to the state gives you back a certificate saying that, hey, you got a right to have the care, custody, and control of this property. What property are they talking about?
The child.
The child. Yeah.
The child, which is the birth certificate.
Right.
Because they didn't help you create the physical one.
Right.
They only help you create the paper.
Like the straw man right there. Is that
what they call the straw man? The real term for that is called a ens legis.
Okay.
Okay, that means a creature of the state.
Okay.
Now, people will say, oh, David, you're crazy. You don't know what the freak you're talking about. No, I'll prove that I know what I'm talking about. So when you look at the case Troxel versus Granville, Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman Supreme Court justice from Arizona, said something that was powerful. Do you know what she said?
Nope.
She's a federal judge. This is deep. She said the child is not the mere creature of the state. Is not the mere creature of the state. Mere means not only,
right?
Not just. So what she's doing is she's sneaking and telling us that there's two entities that's being fought over at the same time, and somebody ain't informing the people.
Yeah.
Why in a Supreme Court decision does she have to tell you about an ens legis or a creature of the state? A creature of the state is only an entity that has been created by statute. The government is only on paper. It cannot create a physical being. That's why when they adopt your kids, the first thing they do is take the birth certificate so you ain't got access to it no more.
Yeah.
Because the birth certificate is the child that they have power over. The child company. Now, the problem is that the mothers and fathers don't know that when the legislature is writing the statute that they have no power over a baby. You see how deep that is? Now people say, well, no, that doesn't make sense. Well, if you look at federal law, you'll see where there's one of the United States codes. Let me see, I might have it written down. One of the United States codes, it actually tells about if somebody starts to embezzle money when they're dealing with property, and they talk about the one who is the agency that has the care, custody, and control of the property. So when you look at Sandra Day O'Connor's discussion, she tells you about how mothers and fathers have a liberty interest in the care, custody, and nurturing of their own child. When they say their own, that means it belongs to them. When they say nurturing, can you nurture a business?
Right, no.
No, but you can nurture an actual real life baby. So she makes a differentiation between a real life baby who the mother or father could give nurturing to, and then she says that the state cannot give that nurturing and upbringing that the child needs, nor can they hinder it. They can't provide it and they can't nurture it. Because think about it. Can the state provide actual nurturing for a little one? A state is a piece of paper. A state is a corporation.
Right.
So the thing is that the corporations can only deal with corporations. And this is why when you look inside of these court cases and you look inside of the statutes, you keep seeing where it says a person is a franchise, a trust, a corporation, and people look past that. Well, you got to look and see that when the state comes together and makes a birth certificate, they look at it as if there's a partnership that's controlling a entity to set off debts, to do commerce with, to trade with. Right?
So we know that the birth certificate and social security numbers and all that such is traded. Like, I mean, we're a commodity, but what kind of advice do you give a person if they choose not to sign a birth certificate? Then what? I mean, because then some people, you can't get a job if you don't have a social security number. You've got to have birth certificate for anything, to travel, for anything, basically.
Well, you don't actually have to have a birth certificate to get a job. You don't have to have a social security number. As a matter of fact, you can do commerce or do business with a tax ID number that's foreign. You don't have to have those things. As a matter of fact, it's actually unlawful for anybody to ask you for your social security number.
I know.
So you can you use an EIN then? What is that? An employee identification number, EIN?
So some of us, we get into getting foreign 98s. So foreign EIN numbers where we own foreign private membership associations we have foreign trusts or foreign private membership associations, and you can naturalize people through that. The problem is that nobody tells us. Another problem too, you know that name you see on your social security card and that name on the birth certificate?
All caps.
So let me tell you one thing they're doing to us. Which one of you guys ever had your mother give you a name that was all capital letters?
Right, nobody.
Can you even do that in English?
No.
No, right? The
Right.
only time you go put some all capital letters when it's a corporation or some type of estate or something. So you can actually get a trade name, and you could go to your county and get a DBA and purchase the trade name. So one of the ways that they're getting over on us in court and stuff is that they know darn well in English that nobody ever named any man or woman an all capital letter name. So when you come in there, when you first walk in, they look at you like you're a freaking liar.
Yeah.
They're like, it's a joke to them. They say, hey, are you John Adam Wilson? Yeah. And you say, yes, that's me. You're a freaking liar. No, you're not. You're not that name on the piece of paper.
Yeah.
You're not that all capital letter thing. Now, they look at that as a commercial entity, right? But the thing is that if you come into the court in a name that's not your name, or you don't have the right to use, or you don't own the trade name, you can't be an interested party in the matter. So if they're saying these little kids belong to John Bill Wilson, and you come in there and they know your name ain't John Bill Wilson and you just don't know, they can act like you ain't got no standing in the case, let you fight through the case, and they be writing notes behind the scenes saying, oh, nobody ever showed up. The real one didn't come. See, they're super dirty, and you got to think about this. Like, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Are you a United States citizen?
Well,
I don't think I think that, we jot down that we are or check that we are, but I don't think legally we are, though.
What state are you guys in now?
Texas.
Okay, in Texas right now. Oh, wait, are you guys in the United States? Are you guys in the United States right now?
Yes.
Well, we are in the United States right now. We are in one of the United States right now.
Okay, so Texas is in the United States, right?
Yes.
Now, what if I told you that is 100% false, and the biggest way that people are able to steal your kids from you?
See, this sounds like some trickery.
Yeah, this is trickery.
Hey, they always get you by trickery. Can I share?
No, I know. That's why we love talking to you, because you expose it.
So look at this. We have been told our whole life that we live in the United freaking States, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm showing y'all a code right here from the UCC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know about UCC for sure. Yeah, it's not even in the United States.
The United States is located in the District of Columbia, right?
Of course.
Yeah, we are the America. I forget what it was. It's we're America.
We're Americans, but we do not live in the United States. The United States is that little thing over there on the end that don't belong, right? Yeah. They're a totally different country.
Yeah.
The District of Columbia is not the United States. Now, with that in mind, though, every freaking school teacher that we've had, historians, freaking bar attorneys tell us that we're in the freaking United States.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that should piss you off, right? Because, of course, you don't know the ramifications yet. But doesn't it feel strange that I just ask you if you were in the United States, you say yes, and then I show you that the United States is way over there?
Yeah.
Now, people laugh at me. They'll say, David, you must be a sovereign citizen talking about you're not a United States citizen. Well, if the United States is the District of Columbia and you're calling me stupid because I'm telling you the truth and I can show it to you on paper, we might need to slow down and reevaluate all of our teaching. Because if you don't even know what country you're in, and that's how it is in most of the nation, we don't know what country we're in. People lie to us. And on top of lying to us, they told us to be prideful in what we know. So somebody comes to you in love and says, hey, the freaking redcoats are coming. And you're like, you're freaking sovereign citizen, patriot, idiot. Why are you coming over here telling me this foolishness? You don't know what you're talking about. But as people who are standing up and knocking this thing down, we have to show people facts that breaks the legs of their belief system. Right?
So from my understanding is, so the United States of America is a corporation, right? And they're registered in the District of Columbia, and they've changed their names around. This corporation has changed its names around quite a few times, and every once in a while it files for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, the way it works is the United States, if you look at Title 28 USC 3002 15 in parentheses A, or 15A in parentheses, you're going to find that it says that the United States is a federal corporation. So here's what happened. Mm-hmm. We have a de jure land still that exists. We have de jure law that exists. The problem is that nobody has told us that the de jure land is still here and that we're just rolling inside of a corporation as corporate citizens. So when they say you're the United States, they did that so that they can lead the law, right? Because in the de jure land, you have to go by the common law. Uh-huh. If you don't want to go by the common law, you got to create a corporation and get people to follow the constitution of the corporation, which is the internal bylaws that don't apply to anybody outside of the corporation.
Right.
All right. So when did that start? When did that officially start, where the corporations started taking over the people of this country?
In 1881, you see where you have the Act of 1871, where that definitely became a big problem. Some people say it happened as soon as we got our Constitution, mm-hmm. which I don't necessarily agree with that. Like, any Constitution that you have is what's called a trust. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say, oh, what you're talking about, I can prove it to you. Mm-hmm. It's just a trust. And so in the trust, you have a trust indenture where you give the you give the power to anyone you wish mm-hmm. To be able to govern in the way that you say, and that is the only thing they can do. If somebody acts outside of the trust indenture, they've done wrong. But you'll see at a couple of times throughout history, some of the people who were working unlawfully gave power to other entities that they didn't have power to do inside of the trust indenture.
That's very deep.
Yeah, that's why we get in trouble. Like when you see one of the presidents go deal with a foreign power and say that, hey, you have the power to dictate policy in our land. Well, we have a Republican form of government. So you can't just go allow CPS to follow treaties from other nations or forms of law or some type of Sharia law from another nation.
Yeah.
It's foreign. If you look at the bar, right? Another way they did it is they put the bar in every state. So we have, the executive branch, legislative branch, and judicial branch. But what they do is they add another branch called the bar, and they let the bar work in every branch. So now the people in the bar can say, hey, what we want for this nation is for us to have laws that look like this. Courts, we want you to look like this. Executive branch, we want you to do this.
So
and what happens is,
sorry.
No,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We have actually been studying this for probably a decade. So we are familiar with what you're saying, and we've touched out with many other contacts as well. So the issue that I keep seeing, though, is we know we need to be in a common law court in order to be under real law, people law, blood and flesh law. Where are those courts? How do we get there? How do we find a common law judge? How do we go about that?
You create the common law. So this is what they don't tell us. So I'll give you an example. Article 7 of the Constitution says that you have, of the Bill of Rights says that you have the right to a trial by jury, right?
Yeah.
So the judges don't like juries because the juries will tend to side with the people when there's some bull. So when you do like your civil cases, right? You write into the case what's called the rules of court. Think about it. When CPS or a traffic court brings you into their court, right? They have rules made up for their statutory bull, right?
Yeah, they do.
So they create the rules of court. If you don't object, you just lose. They just run you over.
Right.
But what would happen if you create a civil court where you ask for a trial by jury? So you could go into your local county courts, right? You say that you want to do like a tort claim, right? Or that somebody harmed you, same thing. What ends up happening is you fill out the documents, and it's going to actually give you a choice for personal injury, personal harm. They're going to give you a choice for somebody defrauded you on a contract. So when these people try to bring you into a court that's not the right jurisdiction, I'm going to show y'all something because this is going to be good. I think you guys will like this. So what happens is you're going to correct the fact that they're bringing you into the wrong jurisdiction by opening up a court and arguing the facts and saying that you want a trial by jury in a court of record. Then you're going to make the rules say that the court can only move under the common law or as a court of record. A court of record, if you look at the old Black's Law, I think I showed you guys before, is the actual court where these people can be arrested if they lie. So notice that CPS and traffic court never tries to take you into a court of record first. They'll say, well, let's go to some justice of the peace court where we're just going to run you over. We do 1,000 cases in a day. Mm-hmm. Let's go to CPS court where we're going to just run you through 1,000 cases in a day.
Right.
They don't want to take you into the court of record where if the caseworker lies, they go to prison that day. They don't want that. So what they do is they bring you into the wrong venue. Now, I'm going to not just say this, I'm going to prove it to you. So remember I told y'all that the common law comes from the Bible, right?
Yes.
Now I'm going to show you that they've been tricking us with the same freaking trick for 2,000 years. Does that sound like it could be true?
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With you, of course.
No, I think we've been deceived for very long.
Yeah.
For many things.
Hey, look, and it's the same freaking people. It's Rome. Rome is running our court of style.
I know. We talked about this last time.
Yeah, finish what you're saying, because then I have some questions. About a totalitarian government that just rules by force.
Can I show y'all by the Bible?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Can y'all pull up Acts, I think it's chapter 25 for me. And I'm going to show y'all something funny. It might be 26, but I think it's 25.
Yeah, I got a
In the King
Bible.
James Version.
You can pull it up. Yeah, you can pull it up over here.
In the King James Version. And I'm going to have you scroll it down so I can read it. But I'm going to show y'all something and y'all going to see. See, this is
25.
Rome wanted us to hate the Bible. So they made new versions. They changed. Yeah. Some of the people who are teaching that the Bible is a lie,
yeah, that's good, right?
Is actually priests from Rome.
Yeah, you were telling us with the NIV or whatever.
Oh yeah.
NIV, yeah. So where do you want us to go in Kings?
Okay.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Let's start with 25 on the page if you can. So let's look from verse 1, right? This is going to be dealing with Paul when they're trying to arrest him. I mean, trying to get him killed.
Okay.
Watch this. Now, when Festus was come into the province after 3 days, he ascended from Caesarea to Jerusalem, right? Then the high priest and the chief of the Jews informed him against Paul. So now the priest of the Jews, the high priest, and the chief of the Jews are trying to get Paul killed, right?
Yep.
Now notice what they do here. And desired favor against him. So they didn't want to just get him because he did everything wrong. They're trying to get favor against him because they know they're messing up already. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That he would send for him to Jerusalem, laying wait in the way to kill him. Wow. They wanted to kill him. That was their goal.
Yeah.
So they're like, look, you gonna help us set this up? Now watch this. But Festus answered that Paul should be kept at Caesarea, and that he himself would depart shortly thither. That means in a little while.
Right.
Let them therefore, said he, which among you are able, go down with me and accuse this man, if there be any wickedness in him. Now, notice this. How does CPS work? Do they come bring facts right away, or do they accuse you?
Yeah, they just accuse you. So
they just throw out an accusation, and that's just it. We gonna rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
Don't leave it yet, though. I got some more.
Okay, I got you.
So the thing is that what they wanted to do was accuse him. Now, one thing you're going to notice about these accusations is that when they come with accusations, they're usually lying and have no proof.
Right.
So when they're lying and have no proof, they want to bring you in the wrong jurisdiction. They should be bringing you into a court of record where they could throw you in prison if you're doing wrong. They don't want to do that.
That's right.
They want to bring you to Article 1 court where they can make up the rules as they go.
Exactly.
The accusation is the evidence in their court. So let's put it back up and I'm going to show you real quick. Okay, so it says,
Verse 6.
And when he had tarried among, I got to make it bigger, sorry. Tarried among them more than 10 days, he went down into Caesarea, and the next day sitting on the judgment seat. Now, this is the actual seat where you can really judge somebody from. Now, he's sitting in the judgment seat. That means he needs to be a fair judge, right? Yeah. Watch what he does. Commanded Paul to be brought. And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood round about and laid many and grievous complaints. It didn't say claims that it was 100% true. It just said complaints.
Oh, wow.
Against Paul, which they what?
Could not prove.
Could not prove. See, they're bringing us into satanic courts that we saw in the Bible in front of their magistrates where they can't prove what they're saying. Now, the righteous judge should look and say, this is some bull, man. Send this dude home.
Yeah. And
our courts are not doing that today because the judges are being taken over by foreign interests. Notice that Jerusalem is, the Jews are coming to them as a foreign interest that want to do something they want to do, and they're freaking lying, and they're accusing, and they're bringing you to a jurisdiction that they should not be bringing you for.
Absolutely.
Before.
Absolutely.
Let's look at a little bit more, and I'm going to finish up.
All
okay,
right.
cool.
While he answered for himself. Now, did he go get an attorney or a lawyer to do it for him?
Nope. He answered for himself.
He was sui juris. While he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews. Now, this is very important for us because this is how we get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
He answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews, neither against the temple, nor yet against Caesar have I offended anything at all. So he let him know, look, I ain't do nothing wrong. I'm not going to sit here and argue over the law of the Jews, over the temple. I ain't do nothing against Caesar. I didn't do anything against anybody. So he's not arguing the facts of their foolishness. He's just saying, look, I didn't do anything wrong. Now watch what he does. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, see, these judges, a lot of times, we try to let the silly people get away, the foreign entity.
Yeah.
Answered Paul and said, wilt thou go up to Jerusalem and there be judged of these things before me? See, he knew if he went to Jerusalem, he was about to get killed.
Yeah.
So the man in the judgment seat tried to cheat for the other side, just like they do to us now. Watch this. Then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat where I ought to be judged. He's arguing jurisdiction. I'm not even in these people's jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you bringing me here? I'm not going to sit here and argue over any dumb complaints. I didn't do anything wrong. Let's go in the real place where if you get caught lying, you go to prison. You get killed. See, if you go in front of Caesar with some bull crap, and if you go in front of the right Jewish courts with some bull craps, anybody who makes an accusation without proof that wants you to die should get killed.
Interesting.
So it's the same thing in our courts today. These people are creating their own courts, making up their own jurisdiction so that they can tell lies. If you bring your behind before a court lying and you ain't got proof and it's found out that you full of some bull, your head should be chopped off right there.
Wow.
So this is proving people aren't doing this because they're making mistakes, but they're doing it maliciously.
Yes. See,
right?
What happened is the bar, the lawyers back in the day did the same thing. The masters of the law went and worked together with the magistrates to bring you in the temple to kill you before. And in the same way, the magistrates, the people who would usually be your county judges, are contracting with the bar under Title 4E, Title 4D, Highway Safety Act. They know dang well that they should not be pulling over any car under 10,000 pounds. And if it's not in some type of capacity where it is, where it is
a commercial vehicle.
Commercial.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the thing is that they know this, but what they're doing is because they're all bar members, they're doing a favor for the pleasure of the accusers.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting paid.
And the accusers, in most cases, is the state.
No, heck no.
Yeah, it's not the state.
That's another crazy thing. So I'm happy you brought that up.
Okay, cool.
So, when you see the DMV, right? Are they the state?
No, they're not, are they?
Department of Motor
It's
Vehicles.
an administrative.
It's definitely administrative, yeah.
They'll place it up under the executive branch, just like child support enforcement and just like CPS.
Okay.
But it's not the state. They're corporate, private employees.
Wow.
So, but the state is giving them some sort of authority, though.
See here, this is where it's going to get crazy. So, does the legislature have the right to give an adversarial party the right to take something from you? Think about it. You have what's called a trust indenture, right?
Right.
If I have a trust indenture called the Constitution and I tell you all the power that you have, if you can't show me the page where I wrote where you have the power to give another group that's not us, the people, power to take from the people, then how in the world can you do it? Who ever gave somebody the right to take a car from them?
I don't know. Every time we have an interview with you, I know everybody can just see a big question mark in front of my face. Because I'm like, what?
Can I prove that one to you?
Sure.
Okay, I'll give you guys some damning evidence that's so freaking bad using the common law, right? So every day, the common legislature, modern legislature, has come out and told some of these truths in front of people. So what I want you guys to do is go on the internet real quick, and I want you to look up HB for House Bill 1 778 New Hampshire. And I'm going to show y'all something that's so much fire that if we just come together as a people and we knew this, this is going to make your heart hurt.
See, we are in some capacity of contact with Dean. What's his name? He's in Canada, and yes, Dean Clifford. And you know, he is all over this stuff. He will not get a driver's license. He will not tag his vehicles. He doesn't do any of that stuff. But he spends so much time in jail because of it. And I just like,
yeah, that's go ahead.
There's a lot of smart people, but there's not a lot of people that's going to come out and tell everybody. See, we focus on the wrong thing. We focus on how one of us can beat this big bad monster.
Right.
That's not the goal.
Right.
The goal is how quickly can I tell a whole bunch of people?
I know.
You guys are some of the most powerful people in the nation. Literally. You guys have a platform. People love you. People trust you because you bring people on who bring facts.
Yeah.
So every time you guys show people some new stuff, people are built up and they are empowered. And this is why they're giving our kids back now. Kids are coming back because we're showing proof. And people are finding out and they start sweating. They start getting scared because they know they're committing treason.
Yeah.
In order to have treason, you need uneducated people. So the race is who can teach who the fastest.
No, I agree with that, and we have to do it real fast because all of these internet censorship laws that are going into effect right now are killing free speech. It's unbelievable.
We can shut this stuff down in a couple of months if we do something really simple. If we get 5 people who promise to get 5 people who promise to get 5 people, we can shut this whole thing down in a couple of months. Literally. It only took 180,000 people to stop prohibition.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. This is going to hurt some people, right? That don't want. Who are the people that don't want this information out?
Oh gosh. Well, you got to look at the top of the system. So I'm going to just show you something so you guys could see. So Rome and the Jesuits are controlling the whole nation. People say, no, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. Why? I'll just make it simple. Let's just look at simple things, right? If you saw a whole bunch of chocolate guys with blue rags on, hanging out their stuff, hanging out their back pocket, going down the street, and you saw people getting shot, you would say, man, whatever that blue gang is, they don't freaking play, right? They really do a lot of damage, and we need to slow them down, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to politicians, cognitive dissonance makes us say, well, we don't want to see that in a way. But what we need to do is just be honest. So I'll show you simply. Abraham Lincoln, killed by Booth.
Mm-hmm.
Booth was a Jesuit. Right? You look at Joe Biden, molest people on video. He's a Jesuit.
Yeah.
You look at the Jesuits just paying $166 million lawsuit for raping kids.
Right.
You look at Brody Boys School getting in trouble in Arizona for sexually assaulting kids. You look at, or men or boys. You look at Doug Ducey of Arizona stealing more kids than anywhere else. What group is he from? Jesuits from Ohio.
So that's so we're talking all the way back from Roman times, in biblical Roman times, right? Is that what we're talking about, right? So
well, Jesuits came.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
The Jesuits came later. The Jesuits came later. The Vatican has been fighting and destroying people for a long time. The 1666 Sedicate Trust Act came from the Vatican. So you just go through the years. You look at the Louisiana and the codes for slavery that they have there came from freaking Rome, right? You look at go even get to Trump, Jesuit Fordham University. You look at
the only reason why I'm because I wanted to make a point, because a lot of people think it's Zionism right now is I mean,
No,
only because wait, hold on. Only because these are the people that are in control of Hollywood. A lot of them think that they're in control of Washington, and a lot of them, so that's where we're going with that. So
explain the difference between Zionists and Jesuits.
well, Zionists are a front for Jews. So you think about it. The Bible talks about those who are not Jews who say they are.
That's right.
Right.
Fake.
So, yeah, a fake Jew. So if you want to punish a people, so let's go back and I'll give you some examples. So when Hitler, when you see Marxism and you see Hitler, those are two things that's not supposed to mix, right?
Right.
But there were coins that existed with both of their symbols on the same freaking coin.
Well, there was a coin that had Nazi symbol and the Jewish star, the Star of David on the other side.
Yes.
So yeah,
I'm gonna let you know something about that too.
That's a whole whacked situation right there.
So that is the sign of freaking David, but that's not the sign of David.
No,
that's how bad they're tricking us.
No, I know.
When you go from back in the day and you look in the Bible, you look at Babylon, right? You see
Yes.
Babylon, and then you see Esau, which is Edom, or you see Egypt, you see Edom, and you see the Bible talking about how this cup passes through these groups of people who are fornicators against God.
Mm-hmm.
So they carry a golden cup through history, right? And so you see where the Bible talks about Edom and how that cup is going to pass. And if you look up a man, I think his name is pronounced Antipater, you're going to find that there's direct link straight from Edom through history straight to the freaking Vatican.
Huh.
So when you look at that star, right, and it says the Star of David.
Yeah.
David never worshiped the false god. His son did, Solomon, but David never did that. If you want to know what that star is in Amos chapter 5, verse 26. And you'll find that in the King James Bible. It'll tell you that that star is the star of Chion and Malek.
So that star comes from Babylonian times, right? Is that what you're saying?
That star comes all the way from Nimrod.
Oh.
Yeah, so you remember Nimrod went against God. Nimrod made up the name Edek, E-R like E-C-H, right?
Yeah.
And that same term, you look at their lands, you see that big, tall phallic symbol?
Mm-hmm.
What do they call a phallic? When a man's phallus, when it's long and standing up, what do they call it?
Erect.
Erection.
Oh, there you go.
When you look at the Vatican, they got one of those big symbols right in the middle of the Vatican, right in the middle of London, and right in the middle of the Philippines, right in the middle of DC.
Washington.
Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rome, and the Babylonian worshippers, sex fiends. If you look in the middle of that obelisk, is what it's called. Look around it. There's always a circle. That's a woman's vagina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's all over. And you see them raping women, raping babies.
Yeah.
And Malek, right? Remember the Bible, it said that God never let it come into his mind. He didn't ever say it to let your children be burned into Malek. They offered children to Malek. And see, people don't understand that this Roman type system is taking your kids, and it comes all the way back from Babylon.
So we're doing a full circle.
Now,
You actually did a full circle, and I love it how we came right back to CPS, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the system is created, and I'll explain to you how it happened. The system is created based off of the 1666 Sedicate Trust Act. They made up an idea that they can protect people's lands when they leave by controlling everything, by attaching a person to a man. So when they have a child, they attach a child corporation or trust to a baby and say, hey, it follows you around wherever you go. But then they don't teach the cops that that person is not you. So they'll send out a warrant for the freaking birth certificate, and the cop will go pick up the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So what if
you don't know?
What if somebody just gave him the cop the birth certificate at the door? You know,
but there's actually people
this is
who
what
have
you're
went
looking
to court. There's people who went to court and they say, "Where's John Wilson?" And they're like, "Right here."
Yeah.
And the judge is perplexed.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You
Amazing.
know what I'm
Do you
saying?
think
They're
the
lost.
judges
Oh, yeah.
are the judges all in on it, or some of them in on it, or some of them clueless?
Are they
What do you
ignorant?
think?
You know, you know?
Most of them know, and judges are really good at words, right? So
Yes.
I'm going to say something to you guys, and you're going to laugh, right? So, Angie, are you wearing a maroon shirt?
Yes.
What? Okay, Angie. Who is you?
Well, I'm the flesh and blood, Angie, the human person.
So can I refer to you as you?
Can you refer to me as you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are you? Okay.
So let me ask you, are you a person and a woman, or are you a person with a woman with two personalities? Or three or five?
Ask him. I don't know.
No, don't ask me today. Yeah, I'm only kidding. No, yeah, she's about 3 or 4. No.
You know? Hey, she's like, what are you saying to us? All right.
Don't make me mad.
Y'all know why the Vatican don't want you to know about the King James Bible?
Why?
Because the common law and the truth is in it. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Don't they say we don't like this Bible because it says ye and thee and thou and all that? Ain't that one of the biggest reasons?
Yeah, they want to modernize it so we can understand it better.
That's what they say.
Right.
But the main thing they talk about is the these and thous, right?
Right.
So, is you plural or singular?
You.
You can be plural.
When?
Y'all.
We are in
No.
Texas.
You is always plural.
Yeah,
You
there you
is
go. I was
always
right.
plural?
I was right. And you looked at me like that, David, like I didn't know what I was talking
I
about.
because I wanted to see if you were going to change.
No, I didn't change. I didn't change.
So how do you say you singular?
No.
No, if I want to tell you to do something, so if I'm talking to the both of you and I say, hey, I want you to post my show next week, but Angie, ye shall not post it with my name on it.
Ye. Yeah.
Really?
Ye. Yes.
Ye is singular.
Ye is singular.
Really?
And this is why they don't want you to know it. Like in Greek, it does the same thing. This is why the King James is more precise than other texts. Because it's not going to just say you, it's going to say exactly which one it's talking to. So it might say, you people of God shall not lie against your God. And ye, Moses, better tell them what's right. Right? So this is why they don't want that in there, because they needed it outside of the language, the difference between ye singular and you plural. So if you go in the court and they say, hey, are you Johnny? Well, they just got joinder between you and that entity because they said you and you said yes.
Wow. That's the whole English language.
It's dirty. It's super dirty.
So yeah, I was going to ask you, so in legalese and the wording that they use, you have to be very careful about every single word that they use, right? Every single word.
Because we get in trouble because we think we know what they're saying, and so we try to go in there and fight a legalese battle, and we're in the wrong jurisdiction. Notice what Paul said. Look, man, I ain't do nothing wrong. I ain't arguing with you over all this other stupid stuff. I didn't do nothing wrong to nobody. See, there's a difference between wrong, right, and accusations. Mm-hmm. Accusations is, hey, we believe that you might have done this. We think that you might be this kind of person, bad and whatever, with no proof. But if you say, I claim that you raped this girl and I saw you, that's wrongdoing. See, a wrongdoing court is called a criminal court.
Yeah.
You should be throwing me in prison.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So David, they're even going to a next level right now with this red flag law that's going on. They're going into people's homes and confiscating. They're knocking on doors.
Kicking them in.
And going and confiscating weapons if somebody like a physician or a neighbor or a family, they say that, you know, we have, you know, we're a little worried about Johnny over there because he's been acting a little weird.
Are they kicking in people's houses or persons' houses?
Well, it would be the individual that is living. It's multiple people that could be living at that residence, and so, but after the Johnny who is being accused of having some mental issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal: the legislature can only make codes, regulations, and statutes over persons.
Well, okay.
Notice the Bill of Rights. They know the difference between persons and people. Because if you look at the Bill of Rights, like, have you guys looked at the Bill of Rights a lot in different states?
No.
To know what I'm talking about? Like, why?
Go ahead.
Okay, let's look at this one. Real quick, I'll just go to the first one. Go look up Arizona Declaration of Rights and pull it up. And I'm going to show you something that a lot of people are telling us, and this is why we're getting in trouble. And this is why they're going so crazy.
It's the only reason why yeah, she's bringing that up right now. The only reason why I bring this stuff up, David, is because we need to use this information in practical application. I mean, a cop comes to your door, and you know, I know everything that you're saying is true, and I really agree with everything that you're saying. But they come in force, you know, and they say, you know, give me your gun, and you know, you go over there, you're not taking my gun, bam, bam, you're dead.
Yeah, people are going to come in force, right? And that's part of reality, is that people will try to attack you. Now, there's ways that you can get it back. So, for instance, if somebody comes and take the first person's gun, right? The first man or woman's gun.
Mm-hmm.
If a man or woman knows how to bring it out in the open before the people and prove that these people are doing wrong, then a lot of people are going to be liable. And for instance, let's say if you make a civil case and you say, what firsthand knowledge did you have that I was crazy or anything like that? What firsthand knowledge? Because somebody needs to write a freaking affidavit and put their life on the line.
That's right.
See,
that's a court of proof.
Remember, they came to your house, confiscated your weapon. You have not committed a crime. I'm saying
that's what I'm trying to say. So
yeah.
Here's what we got to do: get that freaking doctor, make an affidavit against him, send it to him first. He's going to default on the affidavit because he don't want to mess up his license. And then you pull his butt into a court and make an open example in front of him in front of everybody. Go into a court of record, make the rules of court, do it in your local county court, and blow his back out.
So you can make him. You can. I'm sorry. Go ahead, David.
Yeah.
He's just a man. Don't get him as some government doctor or whatever he wants to call himself to try to protect himself. Don't go against the hospital.
Right.
Go against that big mouth clown who lied on you and make him prove his claim.
Right.
Now, most of us got a diploma saying that from a government entity school that we are competent. We got one from college that says we are competent. Now, why out of nowhere are you saying that I'm crazy, and how can you prove it? And you bring him into court as a man under the common law, right, and make him tell and say it. He ain't gonna want to say that. Now, after you get him, you go get that freaking cop. See, the problem is that we let these people get away, and we let people terrorize us because we don't know where we stand.
Mm-hmm.
You see? And then after, go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, once again, I want to make everybody realize that what we're talking about, peaceful solutions, lawful, peaceful, God-loving solutions. We're not talking about.
You know what else you could do? You send them the affidavits, they're not going to respond, which means that they stand as truth and law, right? Then you do a remonstrance and take it in front of the freaking legislature and let the legislature see how they made statutes and codes allowing these people to do that. And you declare that you're not a United States citizen, you're one of the people, and you make them show you in their trust indenture where they have the right to do it.
Have you
Because I'm doing one right now. John Gentry just did one. He's the first since the 1800s. David Art he is in the legislative buildings right now talking to them. Right now, you can go look on his page, and he's attacking. So I've done affidavits against these people. You know what happened?
They didn't
Nothing.
respond.
Didn't show up.
No.
They don't want no parts of that.
That's
Because
right.
they know they can't have immunity and answer affidavit, because I'm making you answer the affidavit and swear as a man or a woman.
Yes.
You have no protection. So you could see, this is what Paul did. Paul's like, look, man, I got Roman citizenship. I dare you to come fight me in this court. They're like, man, we ain't got nothing. We don't want to mess with this guy. You see where Festus is like, oh, well, I don't find anything to even write to you guys about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put that on paper. He won't even make a record. He won't take down what these other clowns said that was accusations. He's like, look, if y'all come with nothing real, I ain't daring to write nothing on this paper. They know better. So when you call an official or somebody in a private capacity before a real court, that's when it start getting quiet. Look at Brecken versus Hardwick. You ain't even see the caseworkers in the freaking room because they know they lie. They don't want to come there and even talk about it.
So we need to make this a personal thing. You know, if somebody's accusing me of something,
If you've
bring
been harmed.
bring to me my accuser.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
The state of Texas is not the accuser. I need an accuser.
okay. Now, see, it's so powerful that you say this. Now, this is why I need y'all to run real quick back to that Acts chapter 25.
Okay.
See, this is so powerful. See, the way that the Spirit of God works is he puts stuff in a order, in a line, so your brain starts going down a normal pattern and a logical pattern. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to prove to you that your mind just went where the scriptures go. Watch this. See, if we know this and we hurry up and tell people, we can shut all this stuff down. We should be in the midst of our legislature right now, showing these things and telling people what's going on. If you guys want to see a copy of my remonstrance, I'll send it to you guys tonight. I got to do a couple of edits. I'm planning on emailing it out either tonight or tomorrow. I got to do a couple of edits, but I'll send it to you guys so you can see it. But you won't believe the kind of stuff I say to them in there.
You know, my only thing is that we're trying to bring God's laws back into a Luciferian system. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way that these guys are working. They're working Luciferian.
Yes, sir.
See,
it's powerful what you say about bringing God's laws back in the Luciferian system. Do you not remember the prophecy in the Bible where God says, like, he'll have, 1,000 people running away from one, or, he'll have you come with a few people and thousands of people run from you?
Yeah.
See, the thing about the Christian way of doing things is we bring the truth to the light against the evil people and against each other. So we'll come to each other first and say, hey, I realize you made this mistake and you did this wrong. I want to correct you, brother. Here's what the truth is and what you should do. And you should repent and make it right. Any person who believes the truth is going to say, you know what? You are right. I'm sorry. I messed up. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
And you're going to forgive. And we start over, right?
Yeah.
But in the Luciferian system, we show their evil and they run.
Right.
That's why the affidavits work so well. So let's look at this scripture again, because this is going to blow you away. And I'm sorry about taking it to the Bible so much, but this is where the common law is.
I think this is good. I really do.
Okay, watch this. Then Paul said, let me see. Can we scroll down some from past verses?
Sure.
Put 11 at the top.
11 should be at the top.
Actually, back down 2 more clicks.
All
or
right.
3. Okay, now watch this. And then Festus had conferred, when he had conferred with the council, answered, Hast thou appealed unto Caesar? Unto Caesar thou shalt go. And after certain days, King Agrippa and Bernice came unto Caesarea to salute Festus. And when they had been there many days, Festus declared Paul's cause. Now, that's where you get what's called a cause of action from, a reason to be dealing with something. Unto the king, saying, There is a certain man left in bonds by Felix, about whom, when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews informed me, desiring to have judgment against him. To whom I answered, It is not the matter of the Romans to deliver any man to die before that he which is accused have the what?
Accusers
Face to face.
Face.
Right, that's
And
right.
have license to answer for himself concerning the crime. Crime has to have an injured party.
Who is my accuser?
That's right.
They couldn't write nothing down on paper because they brought accusations with nothing, no proof.
Right.
So he said, look, the way that it works in our system is you got to really have somebody hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you just said the same thing. You just said, well, don't I get to face my accuser?
Mm-hmm.
Your mind logically goes where the Bible makes common sense, common law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If somebody gonna have the nerve to say something bad about me, let me see them face to face and give me license to ask them what's going on and interrogate them to expose the foolishness myself.
Yeah.
You see? So what's happening with us is we're dealing with attorneys who say, well, you know, I really don't think you should go in there and tell the whole truth.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that you should go in there and fight for yourself or talk about the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
The Constitution is your freaking trust indenture. It says that the court don't have the right to bring you in there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
We should be talking about these dumb accusations when under the trust indenture, you don't have the right to bring me in your garbage court.
Right. And that's
You are in an administrative court talking about somebody getting hurt. If somebody is hurt, take me to a criminal court and let's see what's up.
That's
Watch
right.
them interrogate them. I'm going to roll them over. All right. So let's go play in the real world and stop playing in this little fake world where it's just corporate business and you're trying to trick me to tour my stuff.
Right.
The attorney saying, hey, other attorney, how much does your guy have?
Yep.
Man,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
left. Hey, well, how much your guy got? Man, they got like 50,000. Well, let's drag this on for another year. We can take
Yep.
all their money, whatever.
Yeah.
You can pull some money out their trust. Then we could take their kids and sell them. And we can do that. We can take their car, right? Let's do that. Okay, cool. So they already know what they're going to do before they bring you in there. And they're ruling by statutes. Think about this. A statute says any person who stands on this property is trespassing. They're saying you're wrong before they even bring you to court.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're accusing you. They're accusing your person before they take you to court. The only reason they're accusing your person because they know they can pull money out of that trust account.
Yeah. And well, you know, and the judge and the lawyers on both sides, they're all in the same club, the bar club. So they're all in the same club. Of course they're gonna work it out.
So you know how we beat them? You know how we beat them?
Yeah, Christ returns, my brother. That's how we beat him.
It happens in a cycle. Think about this. In Hebrews chapter 11, right? I think it's 11 or 13. I think it's 11. In Hebrews, we see where we have what's called the role of faith, right? It's like all these people that the Bible talked about who had faith and fought and did amazing things, right? And we see in the scriptures where the Bible says that God uses his people to stop the mouths of lions and, you know, make it through the burning fire, how they subdue nations or kingdoms. See, sometimes God is letting things go around in a cycle so we can get to the point where we remember, oh, shucks, the Bible taught this whole thing. That's why we're together right now. We're explaining things out of our heart and what we see, and the Bible is saying the same things happened before.
Yep.
And God gave you the answer on how to beat them. See, Paul's like, oh, you think you just gonna kill me? Okay, well, I'm gonna pull out my Roman card, right? I'm gonna pull out my Roman card and I'm gonna fight you using something that God has given me when it comes to my birthright of where I was born. See, some of us need to say, oh, you gonna try me like I'm a United States citizen? Hold on, I'm an Arizona State national. You better stop. You can't even, I'm foreign to you. You can't even bring me in your court. You see, I've had cases where one of my relatives won 2 cases in recent history. One was with the warrant, no, 3. One was with the warrant and 2 tickets. And he let them know that he's not a person, he's not a resident, he's not a United States citizen. He is a state national, and that the statutes don't apply to him. And guess what happened?
They got dropped.
It got dropped. He came a day freaking late. He missed the court date and forgot. Came in the next day and turned in an injunction. That's another thing that we can do that's peaceful. You know that the Constitution is a contract, right?
Yes.
The question you have to ask is, how many of us okay, let's just do it like this. I'm gonna give you guys how you guys can understand. When you and your wife first got, when ye and
She.
your wife got together, right?
Yeah.
Don't you notice that there were certain things that you did not know about her that she had in her mind, right? And you made a mistake and did something wrong, but she never told you. And then you look and say, wait, you didn't tell me you don't like this kind of cookies. You didn't tell me you don't like this, right? It don't have to be nothing serious. But what happens is each one of us in our minds have a line that we draw in the sand. And we say, I don't like this. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that, right? So then after you get together for a while, learn each other, both of you guys become trained in what each other likes, and life goes way better. But there's a time where you're like, man, like, why did you bring me roses? I like drag racing, right? I want to go riding hot rods. I don't want to get roses, right? There's certain things that until somebody gives you due notice, right, you can't give due care. So when you're dealing with these politicians, right, you can hit them with a private injunction and say, look, I'm giving you due notice that I'm not rolling by your statutes. You got 3 days to tell me that you are fighting against what I'm saying, and you're going to make an affidavit to say that I can't do what I'm doing. After that, this is a contract, and you can't hold me by your statutes. And if they defy the freaking contract and don't respond, they're bound, and if they try to use statutes against you later, you can sue them with evidence. Now, why does this work? If you look in Georgia Constitution, right? You want to do that, pull up, because I asked you guys about the Bill of Rights, and we didn't get to pull it up, but pull up Georgia Constitution 1877 without subsequent amendments.
Okay. Preamble. Article 1.
Preamble, Article 1. I think that's what it said.
Yeah, that starts right here.
Article 1. Yeah, the perpetuate principles of free government.
Section 1. All government of right originates with the people, is founded upon their will only.
Whoa, their will only. You can't do nothing other than what the people will, right?
But they will, right? Yeah.
Now, keep going.
And is instituted solely for the good of the whole. Public officers are the trustees and servants of the people, right?
And servants of the people.
At all
you always have trustees if there's a trust. So when our government officials start doing what they want to do in a trustee relationship, they're committing fraud. They are violating their duties, and they are going outside of their trust indenture, which is going against the people.
So that's Georgia. Are all the states written the same way? Because that's pretty incredible. What I just read.
Power, right?
That's powerful in Georgia.
Well, in Georgia, so the rights of the people in Georgia, don't you have what do you call it? Full faith and credit in every state. So the rights that the people have in one state, they got in other states.
That's beautiful.
The people. See, if you notice, it said all power is in the people. Did it say persons?
No, it's the people.
Mm-hmm.
See, in statutes, they don't talk about people because they can't control the people. The people are their creators. They're the trust, the grantors of the trust. They granted all the just powers. So you can't tell what your God can do. You can't govern your God. And the only ones who can be bound by the statutes that are created must come from the consent and the will of the people.
Wow.
So
Now,
yep.
one step deeper. The only laws they can make you follow, if we know, the only laws they can make you follow or statutes are the ones that you sign off on with written consent if they are special law, meaning anything other than the common law. The common law comes in the Constitution. The special law is the law that they use to make up statutes to govern their business.
Right. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So if they say we can take a person's kid, that goes for them. And if you didn't sign with written consent, they can't do it to you. So if you didn't sign the enactment of a law, they're not even supposed to touch you. And it's in that Constitution you're looking at right there. If you scroll down, you'll see where it says that any statute, any special law, there shall be no special law made where that's Arizona's, where a general law is already there. So if the general law says that I own my little ones in their mind and you can't take them without due process of law, then you can make a special law that says that somebody can.
Listen, so here's what has to happen. There's got to be a person like you in every county in the United States, and I'm not just being funny about this, I mean this. And they need to be teaching people all of this. And every time somebody gets pulled in from CBS into one of these unlawful courts, the community has to go there with a representative like you into that courtroom, and they need to ask questions like you're asking right now.
Change jurisdiction. Tell
Change
them that they're in the
jurisdiction.
wrong jurisdiction. Get them out.
Right. What right do you have to do what you're doing right now? By what authority?
Well, we won with that. That's how we won. So when we put up affidavits showing that they were private businesses, private courts, David Straight got over 100 kids back. I've been involved with about 17. A few of them, as I met him with information he gave and information I gave, 17 kids, over 100 kids with him. A ton of criminal cases have been won. Just look at his page. A ton of criminal cases because we called them out. But here's the thing. With the power that you guys have and some of the things that's happening, see, they know we're coming. So if you guys said we're going to push this out like crazy and make this our goal for the next couple of months, if I do it, if we all come together, the vaccine people, the traffic court people, the people who are dealing with foreclosure fraud, the people who are dealing with CPS and child trafficking, if we all said for the next 2 or 3 months we were going to come together and show everybody, so many people would know that it would destroy the whole system like that. And the reason I know it's true is because they're running and scrambling and talking about giving these fake courts, private courts, literal private police. They're doing that because we know too much and they're afraid. And the legislative members are throwing people up under the bus because they're afraid. Because the scam has stopped because we talk too much.
Yeah.
And so it's our duty. So me, you two, people in all the different movements, we need to say screw everything else. Let's focus on coming together and blowing the back out of this thing. And I promise you, within a few months, you'll see this whole thing collapse.
Right. Well, we're doing that, and we're also focusing on electromagnetic radiation, what it's doing to the country and to the world as well. So we want people to subscribe to our new channel, ridrad.com. That stands for ridradiation.com, or our channel, ridrad, as well. David, oh my goodness.
Let him give information.
Wonderful.
Where do people go to follow you? And the other person that you kept saying, check his page. Go ahead and give us all that information.
And we'll have you on in a couple of weeks, if you'll want to come back on. We'll have, yeah, absolutely. We need to do this.
I'm honored whenever you guys bring me. I'm honored, and I kind of felt bad because I'm like, I want to bring some powerful stuff today, and I didn't go super crazy. But
oh man, are you kidding me? I think we have a lot of new subscribers that haven't seen you the first time, and they're going to be blown away because you're great.
Well, I appreciate it. I want to do better, and I want to send you guys this remonstrance so you guys can let me know what you think. I'm getting ready to lay it into Arizona. But David Straight's page on Facebook is DAVID, of course, Straight, STRAIGT. And then you have my page is David Jose, DAVID JOSE. I got a new page I'm working on that's Real News with Dave Jose.
Nice.
So David Jose. So I'm working on that one. Yeah, I'm pushing some things because just like you guys know, what happens is Facebook starts to try to knock down the number of hits you get. So I was getting 30, 35,000, right?
Yes.
And I have this app that I was using. And on the app, you can see a picture of what's on the screen, a picture of the screen behind it, a picture of the screen behind it, right?
Yeah.
And while I'm looking, I can see a total different number of people on the first screen than the second screen, third screen, fourth screen, right?
Yeah, that happens.
And then on my news channel, they were cutting my videos at least by half, which I don't care. I know they're scared as heck. You remember, they just had freaking the owner of Facebook on TV saying in front of the Congress that we are mad at you because you're covering up people's speech. And then now he went worse.
Yeah. So
it was a scam. They're scared as heck. They know that we know too much. They know that we're coming and the people are being awakened. And I'm completely not worried. You know, I don't have my little guys back yet, but I know that God is delivering. I know that we're coming with the right stuff. And I believe that a good number of people, just like Isaiah 49 in the Bible, when this happened before, when the oppressors took the kids and God says, I will bring your children back from the oppressor, I'll take from them. God is doing the same thing. It's just, are we going to have faith and be tough enough? That's the thing. Like we see in the scriptures where Jesus said when he comes back, is there going to be faith on the earth? So we got the choice to be like the people in the Bible. Are we going to believe? They didn't even get to see the whole book. Are we going to believe and truly know that God can deliver and he can take things to a different level and fight like crazy because of that? If you fight knowing that God is on your side already, it's a great fight. It's fun. I'm laughing. I'm like, oh, you got my little guys for now? You are not going to like what you did.
Yeah.
You are going to be upset. You're going to meet a threshing tool that you never thought you will see. I'm going to pick your stuff apart. This is going to be an awesome battle. And they're like, so you ain't scared? Heck no, I ain't scared. I'm coming after you. You're going to fall. And they know it. So it's good.
David Jose, man, it's always great having you on.
yeah, it is.
And so, yeah, we'll have you on a regular basis because, man, every time we talk to you, I learn something. It's just mind blowing. And so we'll get you back on in a couple of weeks if you'll come on if you're interested. Sound good?
I will come on anytime you guys want me to. I will follow your lead. You know, you guys are good people doing powerful. And I just appreciate you guys for giving me a chance. You know, you guys got an awesome platform. You've been doing awesome things. And it's a humbling experience when somebody, you know, people have done as much as you guys even would allow me to come on and be present. So I'm just thankful.
No, we're thankful to have you. And we are always thankful to have great advocates that are on the same page as us. We're definitely stronger in numbers. So
yeah. Well, God bless you, my friend. You have a great night, and we'll talk to you real soon. Couple of weeks.
You guys too. We're gonna win soon, and we eat watermelon together.
All right.
Bye.
Take care, brother. Have a good night, man. Good night.
All right, bye-bye.
Using my EMF 390, this is the reading of dirty electricity coming from our bedroom wall I was getting, and on the right, as you can see, we are in the safe zone after some remediation. If you're interested in purchasing an EMF 390, the link is in the description, or you can email me at ridrad@protonmail.com. That's ridrad@protonmail.com.